Lisa's here. But will you get back here, or they'll grab you on your way? So where's Jen? I sent her to get him. Yeah. We have a little meeting in a second, so.
You put our kids downstairs.
I think he's here. I think he's here. Sheldon!
Right there. Yeah. Yeah. In the red.
I don't know long ago. All right, we got you. Jeff, all right, Lisa, come with me. I saw Jeff. It can be tough to get to this part.
Yeah.
9:27. Okay. All right, come on up, Jeff, Ari, Lisa, come with me. Jeff, come on up here.
What is it here? Ari, what about your water bottle?
right, friends, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. We're going to go ahead and get started with some morning blessings on page 73. A few announcements, though, before I do that I'll announce several times as people filter in through the morning. Should there be an emergency, there are emergency exits everywhere. The door you came in, down the center doors, down the stairs, off both wings of the bima, and out here in the front as well. We leave that door open even though there's a breeze for ventilation. Masks are recommended but not required. Number two. Number three, this is going out to a live stream and YouTube as well. And it's a little counterintuitive, but even though there's a camera staring at us in the face, please don't take out your own phones and take pictures. We really don't allow those on Shabbat. This is an exception for those who cannot be here. That started during the pandemic that we are keeping going. So please do participate, sing along, hum along, daven with us out loud if you can. And I know that most of you at this hour are here for Ari Lipset becoming bar mitzvah, and he will be leading much of the service, but not at the beginning. If you are 13 or under, please come to the front row. The front rows, I see some, maybe those are older kids, I'm not sure, but if you are some of the bar mitzvah friends, please come to the few front rows. 4 rows reserved for you. All right, please rise, page 73. ברוך אתה למחלם, אשר נתן לספי בין אלפים בין יום ובין לילה. ברוך אתה למחלם, שעשני בצלמו. ברוך אתה למחלם, שעשני ישראל. ברוך אתה למחלם, שעשני בן חורין. ברוך אתה למחלם, פוקח עברים. ברוך אתה למחלם, אביש ערומים. ברוך אתה למחלם, עתיר סורים. ברוך אתה למחלם, זוקף כפופים. ברוך אתה למחלם, רקע הארץ על המים. ברוך אתה למחלם, שעשה לי כל צורכי. ברוך אתה למחלם, המחי בצדי גבר. ברוך אתה למחלם, אשר בגבורה. ברוך אתה למחלם, אשר ישראל בתפארה. ברוך אתה למחלם, אנו נותן לי אויב כוח. We may be seated as we turn to page 134. 134. Hallelujah, 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 el bekocho. Hallelujah, hallelujah, berkia uzo. Hallelujah, hallelujah, gurota. Hallelujah, hallelujah, keroguno. Hallelujah, hallelujah, beteka shofar. Hallelujah, hallelujah, nevel vechinor. Hallelujah, hallelujah, betov umachol. Hallelujah, hallelujah, beminim be'ugav. Hallelujah, hallelujah, betiltalei shema. Hallelujah, hallelujah, betiltalei teruah. Kol anshama te'aleluya. Hallelujah, hallelujah, kol anshama te'aleluya. Hallelujah, hallelujah. 143. נשמע כל חי, תברך את שמך. אבל אין לנו ברוך כל בשר שלך. ומי ישווה לך ומי יערוך לך אלא גדול גבוה ונורא עליהם לקרוא שמיים בארץ נעלה לך נשבחך לברך לברך קודשך כמו לריב ברכי נפשי אתה אדוני וכל קרבה את שם קודשו היה בצמצם על תוזך הגדול בכבוד שמך הגיבור לנצח בנורותיך המלך היושב על כיסא רם ונישא. Page 149. שוכן עד מרום וקדושים הוא. וחצורים הצדיקים באדוני לשרים לבתהילה, לפי ישרים תתעלה, ובדברי צדיקים תתברך, ובשום חסידים תתרומם, ובקרב קדושים תתקדש, ומעגלות רבבות עמך בית ישראל. בשמך מלכנו בכל דור ודור, שכן כבר כל יוצרים לפניך אלוהינו ואלוהי אבותינו, לא תעלה לשבח, לבאר לרומם להדר, לברך ללאו קדש על כל דברי שירות ותשבחות, דוד בן ישי עבדך, משיחך ישתבח שמך, ועד מלכנו. ברכות והודאות מעתה ועד עולם, ברוך אתה אדוני, המלך הגדול ותשבחות אל הודותו הנפלאות, הבקר בשירי זמרה, ולחלקי העולמים, יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה. ויאמרתי חירותי והמליך מלכותי, וחייכון וביומכון לכל בית ישראל, בגלה בזמן קריב, אמרו אמן. שמי רבה מבורך, לעולם אמן, אלמיה. יתברך, ישתבח, יתבר במם ויתנשא, ויתהדר ויתהלל, ויתהלל שמי לקודשה, בריחו, לעולם יקום ברכתה ושירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה, ואמירן בעלמה, אמרו אמן. Please rise for the Baruch Hu, page 152. Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Adonai Mevorach le'olam ha'ed. You may be seated. Baruch atah Adonai le'mechalam. Yotzor ha'brei choshet, oseh shalom, u'borei et ha'kol. Ha'kol yodecha v'ha'kol yishavcha. I'm on 154. Ein kerkecha ve'ein zulatecha, efes biltecha u'midome lach. Ein kerkecha ve'ein zulatecha, efes biltecha u'midome lach. Ein kerkecha ve'ein be'olam hazeh, ve'ein zulatecha mokin chaye olam haba. Efes biltecha golenu limod al Mashiach, ein dome lecha moshin letchiat hametim, el ador al kol hamasim baruch, umborach befi kol neshama ha'kolo vetubo, malei olam kahat, utvuna sobebimoto, hamika el chayot HaKodesh v'nedar bechava, al hamerkava zechut u'mishor, lifnei chiso, chesed v'rachamim lifnei kevodo, tohim me'orot, shebara Eloheinu yitzaram b'da'at, v'bina u'paskel koach u'gvura, Natan bahem liot moshlim bekerev tevel, maleim ziv uvikim noga, na'ezivam bechol ha'olam, semechim betzetam besasim beboam, osim ba'eim ha'retzon konam pe'er bechavod, notnim lishmot zola verina, lezecher malchuto, kara lashemesh, vayizra horah, v'hikit surat alvana, shevach nonim lo, kol tzivam aharon, tiferet ugeduha serafim me'ofanim bechayot HaKodesh, L'Shat Shabbat mikol ha'ma'asim. Shositei Faruch HaSela, Tiparak, Tzurenu, Malkeinu, V'go Aleinu, Borei Kiroshim, Yishlavach Shimcha Le'ad Malkeinu. V'cholam Patchim et Pihem B'Kedusha V'Torah, B'Shira U'B'Zimra, Mfarchim U'B'Shabachim, Varim U'Maritzim U'Makishim U'Mamlichim, Et Shema El HaMelech, HaGadol Gibor HaNorah, Kadoshu. V'cholam Makablim Alehem Omachut Shemaim Zeh Mizeh, V'Nabim Mishut Zeh Lazeh, L'Kishur Ratzon V'Nachat Ruach, V'Sfar V'Rav V'Nima, Kedusha Kolam Kechad, Onim V'Omrim V'Yirah, Kadosh, 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 Adonai Tzevaot, Haaretz Kevodo. ואופנים אחר פרש פרש גדול מנסים למצרפים למפחם משבחים ואומרים הרוג כבוד אדוני במקומו רבים ייתן. On 162 אור חדש על ציון תאיר אור חדש על ציון תאיר ונזכה כולנו מהרה לאורו מהרה לאורו ברוך אתה אדוני יוצר מאורו רבה אהבתנו אדוני אלוהינו חמלה גדולה ותורה חמלת עלינו אבינו מלכנו בעבור אבותינו שבטו בך אבינו מלכנו ותלמדנו כחיים כן תהוננו למדנו אבינו העברה חמן המרחם רחם עלינו ותן בליבנו להבין ולהשכיל לשמוע ללמוד וללמד לשמור ולעשות ולקיים את כל דברי תלמוד תורתך והאר עינינו בתורתך ודבק לבנו במצוותיך ויחד לבבנו לאהבה וליראה את שמך ולא נבוש לעולם ועד ולא נבוש לעולם ועד כי בשם קודשך הגדול והנורא בטחנו נגילה ונשמחה בישועתך והביאנו לשלום בארבע כנפות הארץ ותוליכנו קוממיות לארצנו כי אל כה אל ישוע אתה ובנו בחרת מקולם בלשון וקרבתנו לשמך הגדול סלע באמת להודות לך ויחדך באהבה ברוך אתה אדוני אברכם בישראל באהבה. We're on page 165 and Ari's good friend from birth, really, Hannah Sumner, will be leading us in the Shema Ve'afta.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha, bechol levavecha, bechol nafshecha, ubechol meyodecha, ve'hayu kadbarim ha'ele, asher Anochi metzavecha, hayom
167 through 169.
Ani Adonai Elohechem, Asher Tziti Echem Me'eretz Mitzrayim Li'olahem Elohim. Ani Adonai Elohechem.
Amen.
Adonai Elohechem. Amen.
Shekoah. ודורתו קיים ושמו קיים, בחיסון החול מלכותו ומטרו ליד קיימת, ובריו חיים וקיימים. When 171, and then Shabbat Adonai Eloheinu v'Elahei Avotenu, Malkeinu Melech Avotenu, Goleinu Goel Avotenu, Yotzenu Shu Yeshuatenu, B'nei Matzlenu Melam Shemecha, Ein Elohim Zulatecha, Ezrat Avotenu, Atavu Me'olam. Emer, 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 Atavu Rishon. Emer, 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 Atavu Acharon, Acharon, Umi Baladecha. Ein lanu melech, Goel u'Moshiach. Umi Baladecha, Ein lanu melech, Melech Goel u'Moshiach. Emer, 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 Atavu Rishon. Emer, 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 Atavu Acharon. Top of 173. Yilot Le'Elyon, Baruch U'Mvorach, Moshe b'nei Yisrael Chanashira b'simcha rabah, ve'amru chulam mi chamocha, ba'elim Adonai mi kamocha, nehedar b'kodesh, nora tehilot, oseh Shira Hadasha, Shimu Geuli, Leshimcha Asfatayam, Yachad Kulam Hodu Behimli, Hube Amru, Adonai Imlo, Meolam Baed, Tzur Yisrael, Kuma Be'ezrat Yisrael, Ubdekinu Mecha Yehuda Be'Yisrael, Goleinu Adonai Tziva'ot Shemo, Kedosh Yisrael, Baruch Atah Adonai, Gal Yisrael. 175, we begin the Amidah out loud and together. Adonai Sifatai Tiftach Ufi Yagid Tehilatecha, Baruch Atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'kodei Hakol, V'zocher Chastei Avot, U'mevi Goel Livnei B'neihem, L'man Shemo V'Ahava, Melech Ozer U'Moshiach U'Magin, Baruch Atah Adonai, Magin Abraham, Ufokei Tzara, Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai, V'chayim Etim Atara Le'Hoshia, Mashiva Ruach U'Morid Agashem, V'chalket Chayim B'Chesed, V'chayim Etim B'Rachamim Rabim, Somech Novlim V'Rofech Olim, Umatir Asuri, Umekayem, Emunato, Lishene Afar, Michamu Chachal Givuro, Umido Melach, Melech Beni, Kumechaye, Umatmiat Yeshua, Bemanat Al-Chayot Beitim, Baruch Ata Adonai, Mechaye Ametim. Nekadesh et Shimcha Ba'olam, Keshem Shemakdishim Oto Bishmei Marom, Kakatuv Ayad Neviecha, Vekara Ze'el Ze Ve'amar, Kadosh, 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 Adonai Tzevaot, Eloh, Haaretz Kevodo, Az B'kol Ra'ash Gadol, Andir V'chazak Mashmi'im Kol, Mitnasim Le'umat Zeravim, Umatam Baruch Yomeru, Baruch Kevod Adonai Mimkomo, Mimkom Chamalkeinu, Tofia V'tim Lochaleinu, Kim Echakim Anachnu La, Vataitim Lo B'tzion, V'karov Yamin Le'olam Va'et Tishkon, Titgadal V'titgadash, V'etoch Yerushalayim Ircha, L'tor V'ador, U'lenetzach Netzachim, Ve'eneinu Tirenna Malchutecha, Kadavar Ha'amur, Ve'shirei Uzecha, Al Yedei David Mashiach Tzidkecha, Yimloch Adonai Le'olam, Elohai Yikzion, L'dor Vador, Alleluia. L'dor Vador Nagid Godlecha, U'lenetzach Netzachim Kedushacha Na'akdish, V'shivchacha Leim Rupino L'Rabus Elam Va'ed, Ken L'Elker V'Kedosh Ata, Baruch Ata Adonai, Ha'el HaKadosh. We continue the Amidah privately, pages 181 to 192. It's also a good time for just private meditation and prayer. se shalom imroma. Oh, se shalom imroma. Uyase, uyase, uyase shalom. Uyase, uyase, uyase shalom. Uyase, uyase, uyase shalom. Alleluia. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. Oh, se shalom b'rama. Page 193. Rabbi Grashem Be'Rabah, Ramani Brachir Tevam Lichmachu Teva Chayachon, Vyamachan Chayachot Beit Yisrael, Bagalavis Man Karibi Imeru, Ye'esh Me'Rabah Me'Borach, Le'olam Olal Me'omaya Yitbarach. Vishtabach, Vibargam Ramina Sevit, David Alevi, Tal Shmeri Kurisha, Le'lam Yikober Chatan Shiratach, Chatvan Chavata Damiram Be'mavi Imeru, Tikvot Sodon Roton L'Choyoshrel, Koram Avon Nivishmai Imeru, Eshlam Ramin Shamai, V'chem Levako Yisrael Imeru, Oseh Shalom B'Mamavu, Ya'aseh Shalom, Baleinu Ve'al Ko Yisrael, Ve'al Ko Yoshvei Tevel, Ve'imeru. In a moment, we will be starting our Torah service and our bar mitzvah. Ari will be presented with talit. Since it's a very late-going crowd today, parents are going to speak at the end of services instead. But as they come up, I want to just recognize a couple people in the room. As the wearing of the talit is really very much a generational kind of thing. And while his parents will hand it to him, there's always a little wistfulness when grandparents can't be here in person, but there are a bunch of at least there are a couple great aunts who are over 90 years old, and so we're going to recognize them at this time, and we just want them to stand up. And so if Marcia Warner, who's Jeff's aunt, was mind standing up, or waving, there we go. So thank you, and really came in all the way from Westchester County, New York, matriarch of the Lipset family, and Leah Shine, Lisa's aunt, who has quite a story, very similar to our own Misha Nudler and Jeanette Jager, hiding in a barn during the Holocaust and saving her younger sister. And thank you for being with us today, coming from Sonoma. All right, so a couple more announcements which I mentioned at the beginning. If you were here, you've already heard them. I'm going to say them again. Should there be an emergency, exits are off both wings of the bima, out that door right there, the door you came in, and down the center aisle and down the stairs there. It's going to be a really beautiful moment when Ari comes up to take a picture. Please don't. Make sure all your phones, cameras are put away and turned off. I know that seems counterintuitive since there's a camera staring me in the face. That is for the live stream. And that's a concession, well, originally for the pandemic, but we've kept it going. There's so many people who are unable to make it, either don't feel safe coming, or from even out of the country, and that enable us to enjoy Shabbat and enjoy Ari becoming bar mitzvah. And I guess that's actually it for now. So come on up, Ari and Jeff and Lisa, with the talit in hand. Amen.
large talit is an art and takes a lot of practice. So donned it for the first time. Yes, it's from Jerusalem. So. And yes, welcome to the club of those who will be adjusting their talit constantly throughout the service. Always fun. All right, so you can stay up there because you're going to start the Torah service. And we are going to invite Great Aunt Leah Shine and Karen Shine Donner, cousin, to come on up. Just go up to the ark now, and you have time to get there and in preparation for its opening. And Marshall, our Gavai, will assist, but any Torah honor, you need your head covered and a talit, so he's got them for you if you don't have them with you at the moment. And we're going to turn to page 195 as Ari begins the Torah service with Ein Kamocha.
Ein kamocha ba'Elohim Adonai ve'en ma'asecha malchutecha malchut kol olamim u'memshaltecha bechol dor v'ador Adonai melech Adonai malach Adonai yimloch le'olam va'ed Adonai oz le'olam
Please rise as the ark is opened.
Vayehi bin Soar Haran, Vayomer Moshe, Ula Adonai, Ve'afutsu oimecha, Ve'anusu misanecha mipanecha, Ki min Zion tetzei Torah, Ki min Zion tetzei Torah, U'devar Adonai miYerushalayim, Baruch Shenatan Torah, Torah, Baruch Shenatan Torah, Torah, Le'ama Yisrael, B'Kedushato. Be'anarachet, Be'lish Be'kadisha, Kadisha Yakira, Ana Emar, Tush Bechad, Yehera Avakodamach, Letitach Libi Be'oraita, Betashli Mishalim, Delibi, Belibat Kolamah Israel, Letavo Lechaim, Letishlam, Amen.
All right, Ari, you will feel the weight of the Torah, physical and spiritual. It is the weight of the commandments you are taking on today. But don't worry, you don't have to hold it nearly as long as you did during rehearsal for pictures. So you should be good. All right, go ahead and turn around.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad.
Echad Eloheinu, Gadol Adonenu, Kadosh Shemo.
Echad Eloheinu, Gadol Adonenu, Kadosh Shemo.
The letter 90. Uneromema Shemo Yachdu.
Adonai Hagedu, La Hagedu, Rabba Tiferet. V'havod ki ho b'shamayim u'ba'aretz, ki ho b'shamayim u'ba'aretz. V'ha'adonai ha'malach, v'ha'minaseh le'holevu, romevu, Adonai Eloheinu, ve'ishtachavu, le'adam la'kav kadoshu, romevu, Adonai Eloheinu, ve'ishtachavu, le'har kodsho, ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu, Torah, ora, Torah, ora, Alleluia. Torah, ora, Torah, ora, Alleluia, Alleluia. Torah, ora, Alleluia. Torah, ora, Torah, ora, Alleluia. Yisrael ve'oraita, chadu. Yisrael ve'oraita, chadu. Torah, ora, Torah, ora. Hallelujah. Torah, ora, Torah, ora. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Torah, ora, Torah, ora. Hallelujah. Torah, ora, Torah, ora. Hallelujah. And we may be seated. Or if you take a moment to find the other book that's in front of you, this burgundy-colored 8-time Chumash, it will allow you to follow the Torah reading. It's right here. And we're going to be on page 351. The Torah portion is called Va'era. It comes from Exodus chapter 6, verse 2 is where it starts. For those unfamiliar with practice in conservative synagogues such as ours, we use what's called the triennial cycle, which means we read a third of each portion each year. And this year we're on all the first thirds. And so mostly what we get today is Moses' call and his reluctance to take on the task of going to Pharaoh and telling Pharaoh he needs to let the people go. So that's the basic, but the first Aliyah, chapter 6, verses 2 through 5, God introduces God's self to Moshe by the name Yud-Heh-Vav-Heh, and not as El Shaddai, as it was said God was known to Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, Sarah, Rebekah, Rachel, Leah. It's a new name. Now, factually, that's not true in the Torah. The letters Yud-Heh-Vav-Heh, God under that name, is the primary name used up until this point. But what the rabbinic sages, commentators offer is that, well, yes, that might have been the name that was used in the Torah, but still they didn't really know God by that name, and certainly they didn't know God's essence the way Moshe would come to, panim el panim, face to face. So, for the first Torah reader, we're going to be saying this a lot because Ari Lipset is reading a lot of Torah today. The first Torah reader is, in fact, Ari Lipset, our bar mitzvah, and we call upon his cousin, Andres Tabak and Tommy Tabak, for the first Aliyah. Cousin and great uncle.
V'yazor v'yagin v'yashilach chosim b'av v'namar amen. Hakol abu b'delel hendu chabad laTorah yamdu Ephraim Yaakov ben Menachem Moshe v'Yankov ben Hirsch Rishon b'mkom Kohen Baruch Shenatan Torah l'Yama Yisrael b'Kedushato v'yatem avikim Adonai Elohechem chayim kulchem hayom.
All right, he's got his own personalized yacht to bring into the.
Baruch Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bakar banu mikol ha'amim v'notana lanu es torato. Baruch Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Vayidaber Elohim el Moshe vayomer elav ani Adonai vayera el Abraham el Yitzchak veYaakov ve'el Shaddai u'shmi Adonai lanadati lahem ve'gam hakimoti ebriti itam laten lahem eretz Canaan and eretz megarihem asher garu ba ve'gam ani shamati and nakah b'nei Israel asher mitzrayim avidim otam ve'ezkor ebriti.
Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torah emet v'chayim olam betachenu Baruch Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Yeshua. Go on, switch to the other side for the second Aliyah, verses 6 through 9. God says, tell your people, I'm going to rescue them from Pharaoh. I'm going to remember the covenant. But, as will often be the case, the people do not listen to Moses. We call upon cousins Jimmy and Steve Warner for the Aliyah and for the Torah reader. Bar mitzvah, Ari Lipson.
Yamdu Yaakov v'Shlomo b'nei Reuven Sheni.
Baruch et Adonai Hamvorach. Baruch Adonai Hamvorach le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bacher banu b'kol ha'amim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah. Amen.
Amen. Lachen emor libnei Yisrael ani Adonai hotzeti etchem mitachat tzivlo Mitzrayim vehitzati etchem me'avodatam ve'galti etchem b'Yisrael netuya v'bishvatim gdolim lakachti etchem li le'am v'hayiti lachem le'elohim v'datem ki ani Adonai Elohechem המוציא אתכם מתחת ציבור מצרים והבאתי אתכם אל הארץ אשר נשאתי את ידי לתת אותה לאברהם ליצחק וליעקב ונתתי אותה לכם מורשה אני אדוני וידבר משה כן אל בני ישראל ולא שמעו אל משה מקוצר רוח ומעבודה קשה.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech Torah Temet, V'chayei Olam Notan B'Tokenu, Baruch Atah Adonai Noten HaTorah. Amen.
Yasher Koach. All right, the third Aliyah, verses 10 through 13. Moshe says, if the people aren't going to listen to me, how's Pharaoh going to listen to me? And moreover, I have aras patayim, uncircumcised lips, which there's a lot of theories about what that means, but he's definitely not good at speaking. And we call upon our parents, Mazel Tov, to Lisa and Jeff.
Yamdu Elisheva bat Gershon veYosef ben Aryeh Shlishi.
Baruch Adonai,
Baruch Adonai Baruch Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Habarach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim, v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch Atah Adonai, noten HaTorah. Amen.
Amen. Vaydaber Elohim, Vaydaber Adonai, Moshe Lemor, V'odaber El Paro, Melech Mitzrayim, V'yishlach ben Israel, Metzov, Vaydaber Moshe, Vaydaber Moshe, Lifnei Adonai, Lemor, and Bnei Israel, V'sham'u Elai, Ve'ech Yishma'eni Paro, V'ani Aros HaPatayim, Vaydaber Adonai El Moshe v'Aharon Vaytzavem el b'nei Yisrael Ve'el Paro melech Mitzrayim V'otzieh b'nei Yisrael El me'eretz Mitzrayim.
Baruch Atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torah temet, v'chayei olam b'Tokenu. Baruch Atah Adonai, noten HaTorah.
Amen. Fourth Aliyah, verses 14 through 19, listing the heads of the families. And once again, we call upon Ari to read the Torah. And for the Aliyah, we call upon cousins Rob and Becky Fulop. And although we don't allow like under 13 to come up for the Aliyah, I just want to recognize former GON student Callie Fulop, who's here. So great to see you, Callie.
Yamdu, Benanya Shlomo ben Binyamin, the Rivka bat Shlomo, Revi'i.
Baruch Adonai HaMavorah.
Baruch Adonai Baruch Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Habarach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim, v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch Atah Adonai noten HaTorah. Amen.
Amen. Ele Rashevet Avotam, B'nei Reuven, Bechor Yisrael. Chanoch ufalu Chetron v'Charmi, Ele Mishpachot Reuven, Ubnei Shimon. Yemuel ve'Amin ve'Ehad ve'Achin ve'Tzochar ve'Shaul ben Hakramit. Ele Mishpachot Shimon, ve'Ele Shimon b'nei Levi letoldotam. Gershon, Ukahat, Umerari, Ushnei Chaye Levi, Sheva Shoshim, Umeat Shana, Bnei Gershon, Livni Veshimi, Lemishpachotam, ובני קהת, עמרם ויצהר, וחברון, ועוזיאל, ושני חיי קהת, 33 ומאה שנה, ובני מרי מחלי וממשי. אלה משפחות הלוי לתולדותם.
ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם אשר נתן לנו תורה אמת וחיי העולם נתן בתוכנו. ברוך אתה אדוני נותן התורה.
Yasher Koach. And we are on the fifth Aliyah, once again read by Ari, chapter 6, verses 20 through 25 in Exodus. More lists, including the family of Moses and Aaron, named the parents Amram and Yocheved, are named in this passage as well. And we call upon cousins Freddie and Zachary Lipson.
Amdu Ephrath bat Moshe, Zachariah ben Moshe, Chamishi.
Baruch et Adonai Hamborah.
Baruch Adonai Le'olam Ba'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamborah Le'olam Ba'ed. Baruch Ata Adonai Eloheinu Melech HaOlam Asher Bachar Banu Mikol Amin V'natan Lanu Et Torato. Baruch Ata Adonai Noten HaTorah.
Amen.
ויקח עמרם את יוכבד דודתו לו לאישה ותלד לו את אהרון ואת משה ושני חיי עמרם 37 ומאה שנה ובני יצהר קורח בנפג וזפרי ובני עוזיאל מישאל והצפון וסטרי ויקח אהרון את אלישבע בת עמינדב אחות נחשון לו לאישה ותלד לו את נדב ורביהו את אלעזר ואת איתמר ובני קורח אסיר ואלקנה ואביאסף אלה משפחות הכרחית ואלעזר בן אהרון לקח לו מבנות פוזיאל לו לאישה ותלד לו את פנחס אלה ראשי אבות הלווים למשפחותם.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torah emet v'chayei olam notah betochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
We're up the sixth Aliyah, and Ari, you can take a seat for not too long, but Yasher Koach, beautifully read Torah. We're now going to call upon your family friends, David Joseph and Jonah Rosenberg, who are going to come up and recite the Aliyah, and David's going to read the Torah. Jonah recently had his bar mitzvah. We are now on verses 26 through 28. God told Moses to speak to Pharaoh. It's a reminder of just the whole scene.
Yamad Yonah ben Michael Shishi.
Baruch Adonai Hamborah.
Baruch Adonai
Baruch Adonai Hamborah Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech HaOlam Asher Bachar Banu Mikol Ha'amim V'natan Lanu Et Torato. Baruch Atah Adonai Noten HaTorah.
Amen.
Amen. Aharon משה, אשר אמר אדוני להם, הוציאו את בני ישראל בארץ מצרים על צבאותם, הם המדברים על פרעה מלך מצרים, להוציאה את בני ישראל ממצרים, ומשה ואהרון, ויהי ביום דיבר אדוני אל משה בארץ מצרים.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torah emet, v'chayei olam nata b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai, noten haTorah.
We're up to the 7th Aliyah now. Chapter 629 through 7:7. And once again, we have that uncircumcised lips, aral sfatayim, and the compromise that is reached is that Aaron will be the spokesperson for Moshe. We'll also learn that they're not young men at this point. They're already in their 80s as this is happening. And we call upon friend Ariel Shustef to read the Torah, and for the 7th Aliyah, we call upon Barbara Rothblatt, who is today commemorating the yortzeit of her father, Benjamin Gore.
Tamad bracha bato v'chaya shvi'i.
Baruch Adonai HaBaruch.
Baruch Adonai Baruch Le'olam Ha'ed.
Baruch Adonai HaBaruch Le'olam Ha'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim, v'natan lanu et torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Vaydaber Adonai el Moshe lemor, ani Adonai daber el Paro melech Mitzrayim et kol asher ani dober elecha. Vayomer Moshe lifnei Adonai, הנני ארע שפתיים ואיך ישמע אלי פרעה. ויאמר אדוני אשר ראה נתתיך אלוהים לפרעה, ואהרון אחיך יהיה נביאך, אתה תדבר את כל אשר אצווך, ואהרון אחיך ידבר אל פרעה, וישלח את בני ישראל מארצו, ואני אקשט לפרעה והרביתי את תולדותיי ואת מופתיי בארץ מצרים. לא ישמע לכם פרעה, ונתתי את ידי במצרים, והוצאתי את צבאותיי את עמי בני ישראל מארץ מצרים בשבטים גדולים, וידעו מצרים כי אני אדוני, והטלתי את ידי על מצרים, והוצאתי את בני ישראל מתוכם. ויעש משה ואהרון כאשר ציווה אדוני אותם כן עשו. ומשה בן 80 שנה ואהרון בן 83 שנה ודברם אל פרעה.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torat emet, v'chayei olam nata b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Please rise for the Chatzah Kaddish.
Yikadal v'yikadash shemei Rabbah, Ani Rav Tirutev Yamlich Malchutev V'chayeh Chonu Mi'om Echonu Chayeh Lechol Ben Yisrael Agala Uvizman Karib Imeru Amen Yesh Me'rav HaMenorah V'Avramu Yishtabach, V'yipar, V'yivramam, V'yitnaseh, V'yitadar, V'yitaleh, V'yitalal, Shemei Dekudashah, Le'ela, Min Kol Birchata V'shirata, U'shmechata V'nefemata, Na'amiron V'yomah V'yimeru. Amen.
We may be seated as we turn now to page 367, the Maftir Aliyah. We jump ahead to the very end of the folk Torah portion, and we are in the midst of the plagues. specifically the plague of hail, which we saw several times over the last couple of weeks here. But the rain has ceased, and what a beautiful day we have as we formally call our bar mitzvah to the Torah. Yamod, 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 Bachar bar mitzvah, Aryeh Shalom ben Yosef, Maftir Chazak. And the tutor, Nati Kanofsky, will be reading the Torah. This part is hard to find. The next parsha is hard to find too, because there's a whole bunch of those bows. But you got it. All right.
Baruch Adonai Hamvorah.
Baruch Adonai Baruch Elam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Baruch Elam Va'ed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim, v'natan lanu et torato. Baruch Atah Adonai noten haTorah.
ויצא משה מעם פרעה את העיר ויפרוס כפיו אל אדוני ויחדלו הקולות והברד ומטר לא ניתח ארצה וירא פרעה כי חדל המטר והברד והקולות ויוסף לחתו ויכבד ליבו בעבדיו ויחזק לב פרעה ולא שילח את בני ישראל כאשר דיבר אדוני ביד משה.
Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torah emet, v'chayei olam nata b'techenu. Baruch Atah Adonai noten haTorah.
So first, an inclusive Mishaberach lesson for all who read. Mishaberach Avotenu Avraham Yitzchak v'Yaakov, Sarah Karach Avleah, Yivrech et Kroker Asher Lehayom, Livro Makam Livro Torah V'Livro HaShabbat, HaKadosh Baruch Hu Yivrech Otam et Mishpachotam, V'Yishrak B'cha B'Atzcha, B'chol Masei Yedei V'chol Shelechehem, V'Nomar Amen. I'm going to read a list of names of those who are ill in our community, and you'll have the opportunity to add your own at the end. And at this time, I'd like to call Nadine Nissi to come on up. She's going to be reciting a Mishaberach, and she'll be at the Torah. She'll need the equipment as well, Marshall. So, thinking especially today of Scott Lawrence, Dahlia Badrezel, Barbara Rose, Ilya Oak, Karina Golobat Hadva Yehuda Tzvi, Lehudi Bat Shena, Shabbat Ben Shimon Moshe, Rosie German, Yechiel Ben Aliza, Shulmi Bat Leah, Liza Bat Rafael Esther, Moshe Ben Ruvain, Patricia Quinta Rose, Rachel Shulmi Bat Yehudit, Rachel Bat Esther Fruma, Mary Beth Shu Brower, Uda Rivka Bat Shmuel Apollo, Yona Yosef Ben Shmuel, Yehoshua Ben Malka Tova, Ariel Chaim, Esther Amaka Bat Salah Moshe, Ziva Hassan, Ovadia Ben Sarah, Sarah Bat Malka, Ilana Drummond, Alan Goldstein. Any other names of those who are ill that you'd like to add to our prayers this morning, please just say them out loud at this time. And now we should bear for the same.
Anyone who wants to join along, feel more than welcome to. I promise. Mishaberach Avotenu Mikor Abraha Vayivotenu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Mishaberach Imotenu Mekor Abraha Lavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah Shema. Let renew
rise for the Hagbat and Galil, we call upon Josh and Lisa Sadekman.
Yamot, Hamarpia Tamot, Agalelet.
We may be seated. And we're going to turn now to page 370. The Haftorah comes from Ezekiel, chapter 28. And Ari's going to recite this Haftorah. It's a long one. It's, on my Haftorah ranking system, it's not, that doesn't reach the top tier. It's essentially, it's connected to the Torah portion in that Egypt has to do with it. And basically, at the time that Ezekiel is speaking, Egypt has drawn more power, and basically Ezekiel's saying, don't worry, our roles will be reversed once again, just as it was in the time of the Exodus, and not after a lot of desolation and tumult. When Ari is done with the Haftarah and its blessings, we're going to stand at our seats, we're going to sing Simato, Mazel Tov, clap our hands. Rhythm the song. I know at least some members of the family will be dancing around the table. Watch the cord there. I'm sure you'll unplug it, and if you're watching online, there may be a brief delay before you get all that set back up. But anyway, that's what we'll do to hopefully just increase the joy of this beautiful Shabbat and this beautiful Bar Mitzvah. Once again, page 370.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar b'nviim tovim v'ratza b'divreihem an'emrim b'emet. Baruch atah Adonai abocher b'torah u'b'moshe avdo u'b'Yisrael amo u'b'nviei ha'emet. Go Amar Adonai Elohim Tikvatzin et Beit Yisrael Min Hamim Asher Nafot Suvam V'nigdashti Bam L'nei Hagoyim Ve'yashvu al matam Asher Natati Le'avdi Le'Yakov Vayishvu alei ala betach Uvanu batim v'natu kramim Vayishvu lavetach V'asoti shefatim V'chol hashatim Otam yisviv otam Ve'yadeu Ki Ani Adonai Elohehem V'ashana esirit Vasiri, Vashni Masar, Lachodesh, Hayatav Adonai, Elad Lemor. Ben Adam, Si Panecha, Al Paro, Elech Mitzrayim, Vehina Velav, Ve'al Mitzrayim Kula. Daber ve'amarta, go amar hatanim hagadol, harobet batoch yorav, asher amar, li ye'ori ve'ani asitini, ונתתי חכים בלחייך, והדבקתי דגי יורך בקשקשותיך, ועליתיך מתוך יורך, ואת כל דגי יורך בקשקשותיך תדבק. ונטשתיך המדברה, אותך, ואת כל דגי יורך, על פני השדה תיפול, לא תאסף ולא תכווץ, לחיית הארץ ולעוף השמיים נתתיך לאכלה. וידעו כל יושבי מצרים, כי אני אדוני יד היותם, משענת קנה לבית ישראל. ותפסם בך בכף תרוץ, ובקטע להם כל כתף, ובהישנם אליך תשבר, והעמדת להם כל מתניים. לכן כה אמר אדוני אלוהים, הנני מביא עלייך חרב, והכרתי ממך אדם ובהמה. והייתה ארץ מצרים לשממה וחרפה, וידעו כי אני אדוני יד אמר יאור לי ואני עשיתי. לכן הנני עליך ועל יערך, ונתתי את ארץ מצרים לחרבות חורב שממה, ממגדול סבני ועד גבול כוש. לא תעבר בה רגל אדם ורגל בהמה, לא תעבר בה ולא תשב 40 שנה. ונתתי את ארץ מצרים שממה, בתוך ארצות נשמות, והרע בתוך ערים מחרבות תהיינה שממה 40 שנה. והפיצותי את מצרים בגויים, וזריתי בארצות, כי כה אמר אדוני אלוהים, מקץ 40 שנה כבץ המצרים, מן העמים אשר נפוצו שמה, השבתי את שבו מצרים, והשיבותי אותם מארץ פטרוס על ארץ מכורתם, והיו שם ממלכה שפלה, מן הממלכות תהיה שפלה, ולא תתנשא עוד על הגויים, והימתתים לבלתי רדות בגויים. לא יהיה עוד לבית ישראל למבטח מזכיר עוון, בפנותם אחריהם, וידעו כי אני אדוני אלוהים. ויהי ב27 שנה בראשון באחד לחודש, היה דבר אדוני אלי לאמור, בן אדם, נבוכדנצר מלך בבל העביר את חילו עבודה גדולה צור, כל ראש מוכרה וכל כתף מרוטה ושכר, לא היה לו ולחילו מצור על העבודה אשר עבד עליה. לכן Nebukadnezzar melech Bavel, et Eretz Mitzrayim, v'naseh hamonah, v'shalosh alav v'azaz bizah, v'hayta sachar lechelo, ve'uto asher abad ba, netatin lo, et Eretz Mitzrayim, asher asuli, ne'u Adonai Elohim, bayom hahu, atzmiach keren levei Yisrael, ulcha eten pidchon peh, betucham, ve'yadu ki ani Adonai. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam tzur kol amim tzadik bechol hadorot ha'el hane'eman ha'omer v'yoseh ha'medaber u'mekayem shekol davarav emet v'tzedek ne'eman atah Adonai Eloheinu v'ne'emanim devarecha v'devarecha midbarecha achor lo yashuv rikam ki hamelech ne'eman v'rachaman atah Baruch atah Adonai ha'el hane'eman b'chol davarav rachem al tion ki hu beitz chayinu v'lo aluvad nefesh toshia b'meira b'yameinu Baruch atah Adonai v'sameach Tzion b'yibanea samcheinu Adonai Eloheinu b'leon aviyatecha u'v'malchu beit David meshichecha b'mheira yavo v'yigel libenu al kiso lo yeshev zor v'lo yinchelu alechem et kevodo ki v'shem kodecha nishbata lo shelo yichebo nero le'olam ba'ed Baruch atah Adonai Magen David al haTorah ve'al ha'avodah ve'al ha'nevi'im ve'al yom ha'shabbat hazeh shenatata lanu Adonai Eloheinu lektushav lemnucha lechavod u'letifaret al hakol Adonai Eloheinu anachnu modim lach u'mevarchim otach yibarach shimcha b'fi kolcha et ha'ami le'olam ba'ed Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh haShabbat
Amen. Sing tov, mazel tov, mazel tov, sing tov, sing tov, mazel tov, mazel tov, sing tov, sing tov, mazel tov, mazel tov, and sing tov. All right, beautifully done. All right, we're going to head now to back to our Siddur with some of the additional prayers. We're going to start with Karen and Mikey Weiss. You need your head covered if you're coming up for these readings, but not a talit. But if you have one on, of course, keep it on. And so, prayer for Israel. I think we're in the book, which will be on page 224.
אבינו שבשמיים, צור ישראל וגואלו, ברך מדינת ישראל ראשית צמיחתה, גאולתנו, הגן עליה באהבת חסדיך ופרוס עליה סוכת שלומך, ושלח אורך ואמתך לראשיה, שריה ויועציה, ותקנם בעיצה טובה מלפניך, חזק את ידי מגיני ארץ קדשנו, והנחילם אלוהינו ישועה, והפלת ניצחון תיאטרם. ונתת שלום בארץ ושמחת עולם ליושביה, ונאמר אמן.
Amen.
Our Av, that is in heaven, Rock of Israel, and its Redeemer, bless the state of Israel, the first flowering of our redemption. Shield her with the wings of your loving kindness. Spread over her the shelter of your peace. Send your light and your truth to the heads of state, your ministers, your advisors. Restore with the good counsel before you. Strengthen the hands of those who defend your holy land and bequeath them. Our God's salvation, adorn them with a crown of triumph, and grant peace in the land and eternal joy to its inhabitants. And let us say,
Amen. All right, now prayer for country and peace. I'm not sure exactly how they're going to be combined. One's on 223, one's on 225. They may have some alternative, I'm not quite sure. But we call upon cousins, Serena Beal Cohen, Maury, and Jake Lipson.
God and God of our ancestors, of this community and of the whole world.
Bless this community and its work. Bring the wisdom of Torah into our lives and strengthen our efforts to bring prosperity and peace, meaning and healing into all that we do. Help us see that we are all created in your image and need to be your partner in repairing the world.
Bless also the United States, that it may be a great beacon of hope and freedom in the world. Guide our leaders, elected officials, and judges with your wisdom to dedicate their work to government by the people and for the people. Help us beyond our borders to bring prosperity and peace to the world.
You create order on high, grant us peace here on earth as well. May we soon see a day when we no longer study war and destruction, but instead dedicate ourselves to building and healing. Let us hear only the cries of celebration as the whole world comes to be filled with your peace.
And let us say, Amen.
Yashikoah. All right, please rise now as we're going to do the blessing for the new month on page 227. And we call for that prayer upon Holy Gahan. And it's the month of Shabbat, which is going to begin on Monday, Yom HaSheni.
יהי רצון מלפניך, אדוני אלוהינו ואלוהי אבותינו, שתחדש עלינו את החודש הבא, לטובה ולברכה. ותיתן לנו חיים ארוכים, חיים של שלום, חיים של טובה, חיים של ברכה, חיים של פרנסה, חיים של חילוץ עצמות, חיים שיש להם יראת שמיים ויראת חיים שאין בהם בושה וכנימה, חיים של אושר וכבוד, חיים שתבנו אהבת תורה ויראת שמיים, חיים שימלאו משאלות ליבנו לטובה, אמן סלע. משנה שמלאותינו וגאל אותנו בברוא לחירות, ויגאל אותנו בקרוב,
ויכבס לכנו מעל כנפות הארץ, חברים כל ישראל, ונאמר אמן. ראש חודש שבט, יהיה ביום שני, אבל עלינו ועל כל ישראל לטובה.
ראש חודש שבט יהיה ביום השני, אבל עלינו ועל כל ישראל לטובה.
יחדשהו הקדוש ברוך הוא עלינו ועל כל עמו ועל כל עמו על בית ישראל לחיים ולשלום לששון ולשמחה לישועה ולנחמה ונאמר אמן.
Be seated. And we call upon our Kita Zion class to lead us in Ashray, page 231.
אשרי יושבי ביתך, אוי יעלוך סלע. תהילה לדוד, ארומimך המלך, ברכה שמך לעולם ועד. גדול אדוני מאוד, ולגדולתו אין חקר. הגר כבוד הודך, ודברי נפלותיך עשיך. זכר רב טובך יביאו, וצדקתך ירננו. טוב אדוני לכל, ורחמיו על כל מעשיו. כבוד מלכותך יאמרו, וברתך ידברו. מלכותך מלכות כל עמים, וממשלתך בכל דור ודור. אין כל אדוני יסברו, ואתה נותן להם את זכרם מאיתו. צדיק אדוני בכל דרכיו, וחסיד בכל מעשיו. רצון ירא יעשה, ואת שבתו ישמע וישיים. תהילת אדוני בערפי, וברך כל עזר שם קודשו לעולם ועד. ואנחנו נברך יום, נצור ביד עולם.
We rise now for the return of the Sefer Torah to the Park, and we call upon great aunt and uncle Andrea Beal and Mimi Cohen to stand by the ark in preparation for its opening. Ari, you're going to carry that Torah again. I'll take your book. Alu et Shem Adonai, ki nizkav Shemo levato, Odo oleret, Neshamayim, Vayarem keren le'amo, Tehillah le'chol hasidav, Livnei Yisrael am kerovo, Alleluia.
Mizmor leDavid.
Amu Adonai v'nei, Amu Adonai.
וירם כמו עגל, לבנות בציון כמו בן רמי.
Kol Adonai, Kotzev Lavotei, Kol Adonai, Yachil Midbar, Yachil Adonai, Midbar Kadesh, Kol Adonai, Yechol Elayadon. Adon Alamahu Yah Shema Yeshem Adonai Alef Leolam Adonai Unucho Yomar. Ki lakato natati lachem torati al kazlohu eifayimi machazikim ba betofeha berushar dermacheha darkei Noah bechol netivoteha Shalom, Hashivenu, Adonai, Elecha Menashua, Chodesh, Chodesh Yameinu, Chodesh Yameinu Kekedem. May be seated. So at this time, Ari is going to give us the drash, the Devar Torah, the sermon of the morning, interpreting the portion that he just read.
Shabbat Shalom. Go down, Moses, way down in Egypt land. Tell Pharaoh, let my people go. That, in a nutshell, is today's parsha. Thank you all for coming. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Today's parsha is Vayera, which means and I appear. It is found in the book of Exodus, chapter 6 and 7. I appeared refers to God, who appears in many ways in this Torah portion. It starts off in the first line, which reads, I am Hashem, Yod-Heh Vav-Heh. I appeared to Abraham, to Isaac, and to Jacob as El Shaddai, but with my name Yod-Heh Vav-Heh, I did not make myself known to them. Then, God appears later in the Parsha by delivering 7 out of the 10 plagues in Egypt. You know, Dam, Skardea, Kinim, so on and so forth. But what I found most compelling in this Parsha is how God appears Panim el Panim, face to face, with Moses. How this encounter changes the course of history. I'm fascinated by how God tells Moses, a very reluctant and humble leader, that he, with a bit of help from his brother Aaron, will redeem the Jewish people from 450 years of slavery in Egypt. It's the greatest redemption story ever told. But why Moses? So let's jump in. Get it? Jump in like a frog? First, to set the stage, in the previous Parsha, Shemot, we've already seen Moses' reluctance to take on the task of going to Pharaoh. He doesn't think he's the right guy for the job. But in Vayera, verse 12, God once again talks to Moses about confronting Pharaoh to let his people go. Moses says, "Behold, the children of Israel have not listened to me, so how will Pharaoh listen to me? And I have sealed lips." So what exactly is this mysterious Aral Safatayim, or sealed, or literally uncircumcised lips? The Torah does not identify the origins of Moses' speech challenge. Rashi, a 12th century Torah commentator, suggests that Moses had a stutter or severe lisp. In Shmo, the Hebrew word kaven is used, which means heavy, so maybe his tongue was deformed or misshapen in some way. A midrash explains that Moses' impeded speech dated from infancy, when the angel Gabriel had guided him to place a hot coal in his mouth instead of gems, so that Pharaoh would not kill him for trying to overthrow the throne one day. But it's also possible to consider that Moses' speech impediment was actually fear, or as we say today, anxiety, that loomed larger in his own mind because he had been chosen or called to play this enormous role. He had feelings of inadequacy. Who doesn't? Whatever the case, God finally concedes to Moses and sends Aaron to be his brother's mouthpiece. Aaron, in a way, becomes the Bluetooth between Hashem and Pharaoh. And Aaron remains at Moses' side throughout this dramatic journey. Given Moses' hesitation and his speech challenge, the big question I had is, why did God choose Moses for this important role? Why was Moses the only one who got to see God panim el panim? There are two main reasons. Because God saw how humble Moses was. Humility has a who am I, or why me quality that can be interpreted as low self-esteem. But Moses had true humility, which is about believing in yourself but not being bothered when others put you down. Because life is not about your honor, it's about what you do. Moses was the shaliach of God, the emissary. And God believed in his ability to do amazing things, despite his speech challenge. Rabbi Jonathan Sachs of blessed memory said, "Where what you want to do meets what needs to be done, that is where God wants us to be." The second reason God chose Moses is because God saw Moses was empathetic. Humility often leads to empathy. Moses is defined by a Jewish value called vaya'ar b'sivlotam, which is seeing the pain in others. Moses is the best model of this, illustrated by the midrash of Moses as a shepherd and how he looked after and cared for his animals. It was his ability to care for other living beings that makes God realize that Moses is the correct leader for Israel, as we are God's flock. 40 years later, at the conclusion of the Torah, the text makes it clear that Moses was held in special regard by God. Never again did there arise in Israel a prophet like Moses, whom the Lord singled out face to face. So what are my big takeaways from this parsha? 1. You have nothing to fear but fear itself. 2. It's much easier to shrug off the task as beyond our capacity, or to wish that someone else should be appointed in our place like Moses did. I may not lead a nation of slaves to freedom, but I am here for a purpose. God gives us talents and capabilities. We need to recognize them and use them well. Humility means that we are no greater than the next person, because the talents are all God-given. 3. If you can't do it alone, partner up with someone or find a group of people to achieve what needs to get done. In other words, find your Aaron. Now that I'm a Jewish adult, I'm going to be taking service and chesed more seriously. One way is by donating sports equipment to kids that need it through Bushrod Recreation Center in Oakland. Sports are such an important thing in kids' life. It certainly is important in mine. There's a delish lunch waiting downstairs for us, so let me say some thank yous. To my family. Mom, thank you for playing this whole bar mitzvah and doing it with love and laughter. You are the strongest person I know. You are like Esther in the Palace of the Forum story. I'm so lucky to call you Ima. Dad, you are my soccer coach and my biggest cheerleader. I love debriefing games with you and telling you about my day. You are also an amazing cook. Your unconditional love, delicious meals, and punctual pickups make you the best at it. Ariella, we bonded from day one. We are lions and have so much in common.
Thank you for teaching me so much, for our deep Jewish discussions, and always looking out for me. To my local and extended family, thank you for your love and support, as well as for schlepping out here for my bar mitzvah. I want to especially recognize my great aunts and uncles. It means so much to me that you are here today. To my teachers, both OHDS and TBA, I wouldn't be the Jewish person I am today without you. A special todah rabbah to my bar mitzvah tutor, Moranati. You were amazing, and we did it. Thank you to Rabbi Bloom and Rabbi Albert for helping me with my drosh. And to my friends, thank you for being my homies. We're going to party like it's the World Cup final tonight. I'd like to conclude with a quote from Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., since we just commemorated MLK Day. Dr. King said, "Everyone has the power for greatness, not for fame, but greatness, because greatness is determined by service." Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom.
All right, just stay up there. Actually, we're going to move just over. Well, no, you're good there, actually. So we're going to call upon President of the Congregation, David Goodwin, to come. He's got a few gifts for you on behalf of the congregation. If you go to day school, you don't get a Tanakh because you already have one. You have a Tikkun here, among the other things that you so you can read 5 Torah portions again, like you did today.
Great. Ari, obviously beautifully read, and beautifully read and a really terrific drosh. I've never actually thought of the Bluetooth analogy before. And you did a great job on Thursday as well. It's just a pleasure. And I'm also really honored to give you this gift on behalf of the congregation. When we first joined 15 years ago, right after we joined, your parents invited my wife and me over for dinner. And we to this day remember their kindness and the lovely welcome we got. On behalf of the Board of Directors of Temple Beth Abraham, the women of TBA, and the Men's Club, we have gifts, a tikkun, a kiddush cup, and candlesticks. Mazel tov and Shabbat Shalom.
Thank you, David. Also Israel Bond in there as well. And now we've got a couple of very cool teens on their way up from the kitchen for another gift.
Yasha Kalach Ari. My name is Ellis.
My name is Avi.
And we're from Drayton Lazy A, which is a chapter in BBYO. We meet every Wednesday and every Saturday. We have meetings on Wednesday and on Saturday, and it's just a bunch of guys hanging out, having fun.
Yeah, so Dreidel is a teen-led youth group of Jews based in Oakland, and has people from all over the Bay Area in it. And it's been super powerful for me throughout high school. I joined in 8th grade and now I'm a senior, and I've been going to meetings and events every week. And it's just been a really important part of my life. So I hope that you check it out and pursue it. Here's a Dreidel.
All right. Thank you so much, guys. All right, a few more words, then your parents are also going to say a few words as well. So I actually want to go back to a moment today when you got here and you're like, I'm nervous. Any words of wisdom? And I would say, you have nothing to fear but fear itself, and you're chosen for a special task today. That's what you told us today, and you apparently listened to yourself. Those words of wisdom came from you. Of course, they come filtered through the Torah and through Moshe. You reminded us of that important lesson, that even when we don't want to do it, when we feel like we don't have the words, when we don't have even the talent, perhaps, at the moment, because Moses didn't realize he had it. He had it, but he didn't realize it, so he had to use, as you mentioned, Bluetooth. You can always do it, right? And whether that is chanting 5 portions of Torah so beautifully, a very long Haftorah, which I just have to acknowledge. I mean, you did it fine in rehearsal, but you did it even much better today. So, you just kept your mind at it, and it was incredible. Of course, I've known you since before you were born. But I remember you, as a lot of people do here, as a baby, where you used to go up and bum, what we call bum boops, which is like headbutting, but like in a really gentle way. I don't know how to describe it. If you know, you know, right? And and we used to do that. And then even further than that, remembering your parents' wedding, right? We did that. Well, anyway, more than 13 years ago, for sure. And 16 years ago, incredible wedding there at the Claremont Hotel. And your parents bring something special to our community too, as do you. Let me talk about what you bring along with your mom, right? Just look out there for just a second. All these people here, not only because they love you, but a lot of them are here because they're part of this East Bay Jewish community, which, your mom, although young, but is a young matriarch of our Jewish community. Right? Her job in so many ways is to bring people in the community together. So there are people from all over. I mean, it's like a Friday afternoon at Oakland Kosher practically. But you brought it together too, and you walk those different worlds together too, from day school to Hebrew school to the soccer field. Whatever it is, all that is part of you as well. So you bring all these people together. And that's so much credit to both of you, but also to you, Ari, for the way you do it, right? You can just hide in all those places. Instead, you're right out there in front of everybody with your beautiful smile. It's not off topic, but I digress for a second. I just also want to say, what a beautiful voice you have too, right? I just didn't realize how beautiful it was. Really good. Do it again, daven again, read Torah again. And Jeffrey too, so while he's also a good Jew and involved in the Jewish community, but Jeff also represents some good old school San Francisco stuff, right? So I can talk about Young Man's Fancy or I Magnums or The Blue Fox or Clown Alley or Zim's, and he'll know what I'm talking about, right? So there's this whole world that's kind of gone now, but that we still remember and that I love talking to your dad about too. So you are of this community, this Bay Area community, you are of this Jewish community, but you are also of our ancient community. You gave to us today the words of Moshe. You not only spoke them to us, you modeled them. You started the morning by saying, I'm nervous, I can't do this, oddly enough, and then you went out and you did it, just like Moses. Who knows what incredible things you're going to do as you enter your teen and adult years as well. And you're going to be nervous, you're going to feel like you can't do it, but just remember today, because not only can you do it, you can do it fantastically. All right, we're going to invite your parents up now, and they're going to say a few words. So now you're going to actually stand right here looking at them. So go on that corner, and then we'll offer a blessing in front of the ark.
Thank you all for coming. Shabbat Shalom. On Ari's bris, which took place in this very room, he was given a small silver Kiddush cup. The cup has an imprint on it. It says Yeled Tov, which means good boy or good child in Hebrew. We've used it most Friday nights and holidays ever since, and it gives us a chance to really be grateful and acknowledge what a true Yeled Tov you are.
From the moment you arrived, we knew you were extra special. You came into this world big, strong, healthy, attentive, and resilient. To this day, you remain so. You wake up each morning cheerful and excited about what the day will bring. You are a bright, engaged student in school. You relate to adults, teachers, coaches, counselors, and maintain close relationships with them. You're thoughtful and empathetic, so therefore naturally a very good friend and teammate. In fact, you get your energy and sustenance from your social network and suffer from severe FOMO, fear of missing out, just like someone else you know in our family. On the soccer field, you are a fierce competitor, but you know that it's not just all about the game. There are many hours of practice, frequently in the cold and wet, and late at night in your team practices, but you are always a willing and eager participant. You put all of yourself into this sport and readily ask for and take feedback. We admire your dedication and perseverance. There are many examples of how you step up when it's required as well as when you are asked. But one of the most significant is when we invited Ariella into our home less than 2 years ago. This meant sharing your parents, your house, basically your life with her. In that time, you two have become very close and exhibit mutual respect, playfulness, concern for each other. It's common for me to overhear you both having a deep Jewish conversation. Ariella, know that you are a blessing in our lives. All of these qualities and more add to your radiance and your $1 million smile.
Just take a look at this packed room. Take it in. And there's a lot of people joining us virtually. Ari, this is your family. It is a combination of family and friends who would do absolutely anything for you. This is what it feels like to truly be part of a Kehila Kadosha, a holy community. There is so much love in this room. My heart is bursting with gratitude. You embody the legacy of your ancestors on both sides of our family, including many who perished in the Holocaust. These ancestors prayed and dreamt that one day you would be standing here in a synagogue on your 13th birthday as an educated and committed Jew. You chanted Torah so beautifully. We know it was hard for you to pull yourself away from your beloved soccer, your friends, and your TikTok. But you did it. You did it because you know how important having a bar mitzvah is, which translates into how important Judaism is to you. Our blessing and hope is for you to continue to take out the Torah, delve deeply into its infinite power, ask it questions, learn from its precious lessons about how to live as a Jew in this modern world. We hope that you continue to have emunah, faith, which will illuminate your path, and bitachon, trust in God, that you will reach your full potential in life.
You will always be our Yeled Tov, and may your Kiddush cup runneth over with blessings.
Mazel tov.
Please rise. And Ari, come on up to the bima for just a second. Blessing of Aaron and his sons. May God bless you and keep you. May God's face shine upon you and be gracious unto you. May God lift the divine face toward you and grant peace. Amen. To remain standing for our Musaf service, it begins on page 239 with the Chatzit Harish.
Amen. Israel, Bagala, Bagala, Ubizman Karivim Erin. Amen. Yeheshme.
Adonai, Sevatetata, Uvia, Gitahilatecha, Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rahel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el HaGadol, HaGibor VeHanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, Mekomeh Hakol, Vezocher Chasdei Avot, Umevi Goel Lipnei Bneihem, Leman Shemo Be'ahava, Melech Ozer Mashiach U'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham U'Vokei Sarah, Atah Gibor Le'olam, V'chayei B'Tivat Torah L'Moshiach, Hashem Baruch Mori Gadol Hashem, Mechakel Chaim B'Chesed, V'chayei Metim B'Rachamim Rabim, Somech Noflim V'Rofeh Olim, U'Matir Asurim, U'Mekayem Emunato, V'Shenei Avad, Milchamo Chabal Geburot, U'Midol Melech, Melech Memid, U'Mekayem, U'Matzliach Yeshua, Ne'eman atah le'Machaya U'Metim, Baruch atah Adonai, Mechayei HaMetim. Na'aritzecha v'na'adishecha kesotziach tzorchei kodesh ha'ma'adishim shimcha b'kodesh ha'katuv b'yad nevi'echa v'karazeh el seve'amar Kadosh, 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 Adonai Tzvaot melech ha'aretz kevodo Kevodo malei olam Meshotav sholim ze lazeh Hayem lekol kevodo Le'umatam baruch yomeru Baruch Adonai Minkomo hu yifen berachamim Ve'acham namam yachadim shemo Erev b'boker Bechol yom tamid Amay ve'ahava Amay ve'ahava Shema Urim Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad Hu Eloheinu Hu Avinu Hu Malkeinu Hu Moshienu Ve'hu Yashmienu B'Rachamam Sheni Le'enei Kol Chai Sheni Le'enei Kol Chai Liot Lachem Elohim Ani Yisrael U'Divrei Kodesh Katuv Le'mor Yimloch Adonai Le'olam V'Le'vayel Tzion Le'dor Vador Hallelujah Le'dor Vador Le'dor Vador Le'dor Vador Na'im God Lecha Le'dor Vador Le'dor Vador Le'dor Vador Na'im God Lecha U'le'netzach netzachim U'le'netzach netzachim Kedushatecha Na'akdish Yeshivacha Eloheinu B'Binu Lo Yavush Le'olam Le'olam Va'ed Le'dor Vador Le'dor Vador Le'dor Vador Na'im God Lecha Le'dor Vador Le'dor Vador Le'dor Vador Na'im God Lecha Ki HaMelech Gadol Gadol V'Kadosh Gadol V'Kadosh Atah Ki HaMelech Gadol Gadol V'Kadosh Gadol V'Kadosh Atah Baruch atah Adonai Ha'el HaKadosh.
Amen. Continue on around 247 through 258.
Oseh Shalom Bimrama. Uyaseh Shalom Aleinu. Ve'ako Yisrael. Ve'imru, Imru, Amen. Yaseh Shalom, Yaseh Shalom. Shalom Aleinu. Ve'ako Yisrael. Yaseh Shalom, Yaseh Shalom. Shalom Aleinu. Ve'ako Yisrael.
259, Kadesh Shalem.
Yikra Mikdash Me'Rabba. Eladi Brachir Tevem Lechmachute. Achayachon Uvyamechon Uchayedecho Bet Yisrael. Agalav Izman Karib Yimaru. Amen. Eishmin Rabba Mevorach. Le'olam Le'omaya Yibarach. Yibarach B'Shavach B'Bar B'Jomar B'Naseh B'Tadar B'Talal B'Talal. Shmei Kusha. Leila Mikol Birchata B'Shirata. Tushbechata B'Nehemata. Damiran Be'alma B'imeru. Zikra Balsa Tachonu Uvod Sahon Dechol Yisrael Kadamu Hamati Ishmaya B'imeru. Amen. Yesh Lama Rabba Min Shemaya V'Chaim Aleinu Ve'Ako Yisrael B'imeru. Amen. Oseh Shalom B'Mama Kuyaseh Shalom Aleinu Ve'Ako Yisrael Ve'Ako Yoshvei Tevel Ve'imeru. Amen.
All right, come on. Ain Kilahaners, come on up to the Bima. There's some coming that way. Yep, I know you know what's next. Come on up. Come on out, everybody. The Taurus. Anybody else coming up for Ain Kilahaner? Well, Leah, I know is coming, making her way up. But I think there may be more kids from.
Yeah.
No, it looks like we're at the end. Okay, come on up, Lucy. Come on up, Lucy. Yep, thank you. Hang on, there's a few stragglers. Hey, Eloheinu, hey, Adonai, hey, Kamoshienu, mi Eloheinu, Please rise to Aleinu. Go see David. Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, l'teinu l'alotzer b'reishit, shelo asanu k'goyei ha'aratzo, velo samanu mishpachot ha'adamayim. Malkeinu, Efesulato,
Lecha Ve'lecha Adonai Eloheinu Lerot Ve'era V'tiferet Zecha Leha Avir Gilulin Min Haaretz Leha Elim Karuki Karetun Letaken Olam Ve'malachut Shaddai L'chol B'nei Basar Yikru V'shmecha L'hachnam Telecha Kol Rishei Haaretz Yakiru V'yedu Kol Yishvei Tevel Ki Lecha Tikra Kol Berech Tishava Kol Lashon Levanechan Eloheinu Yikru V'yipolu V'likpo Shib Hayikaritenu V'kam L'chulam Et Ol Machutecha V'tim L'chalehem Aherad Le'olam Ba'ed Ki Amachut Shechachi U'Le'el Ve'atim Lo Be'avod Kakatu B'Toratecha Adonai Lo Le'olam Ba'ed V'Nehemar I am Adonai L'melech Al Haaretz Hayom Ahu We may be seated as we lovingly recall the memory of our departed relatives and friends whose yorks we observe during the coming week, thinking especially today of Joseph Boston, Rose Cohen, Alice Cunningham, Elwood Davidson, Henry DeLuggage, Jewel Ephraim Fass, Benjamin Gore, Herman Samuel Handloff, Dr. Simon Haskell, Thomas Lee Hastings, Harriet Kaplan, Harry Karsh, Samuel Kay, Morris Kessler, Etta Kushner, Eli Langfeld, Dorothy Lavin, William Mandler, Sofika Hersku Mantell, Marion Migdal, Harry Morovsky, Eliezer Nahari, Morris Nankin, Bertha Rabinowitz, Inga Rosenthal, Monty Sabian, Esther Shulak, Ethel Schaefer, Helen Siegel, Morris Silverman, William Stern, Leo Wasserman, and we are in the Shloshim, the 30-day mourning period for Marina Gottschalk and Leroy Muzzy. The memories of all of them with us. We ask all those who are in mourning or observing your site, as well as anyone who wishes to rise to the mourner's cottage, page 267. Yid Gadal, Yid Kadash, Shavei Rabbah. V'almadi v'rachirute, v'amlich malchute, v'chayechon v'yomechon, v'chayechon Beit Yisrael, v'agalav v'zman kariv v'imru. Yehei Shmei Rabbah v'korach, le'olam l'mei omaya, Yid barach v'yishtabach, v'yitba'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, Yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal, Shmei kudsha v'richu, la'elam min kol berchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, Gamiran be'oma v'ibru. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'ibru. Oseh shalom v'imroma, u'yaseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'ibru. Amen. Zichronam livracha, may the memory of the people you've come to say Kaddish for be a blessing to you always, and let us say Amen. Call upon President of the congregation, David Goodwin, for announcements.
Shabbat Shalom. Congratulations again, Ari, on your bar mitzvah. I'd like to thank our greeters, Ann Rabson and Karen Lai, and Josh Mailman for helping to stream today's service. The Torah readers today, Ari, David Yosef, Ariel Shostef, Nati Kanowski, and Ari for doing the Haftarah. And I also want to thank the Rabbi and Ari for leading the service. Following the service, the Rabbi will do the blessing over the wine and the bread on the bima, and then downstairs is a lunch sponsored by Lisa Tabak and Jeff Lipson in honor of their son's bar mitzvah, and catered by the wonderful chef Elisa Grayowski Somech. Next week, there will be morning minyan on Monday and Thursday at 8 a.m., weekly Torah study at the Polistic Cafe at 9 a.m., and a week from today, the bat mitzvah of Hannah Sumner. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. Thank you, David. Appreciate that very much. Also want to put on your radar, our Gala Gourmet is coming up in, I think, the third week of February, and so please sign up. It's really one of our most important fundraisers of the year, and we're not having a spring auction fundraiser this year, so please try to come to the Gala Gourmet or make a donation as if you would have come, even if you can't make it. We will
it's quite an important fundraiser for us, so please have that on your radar. So David is correct that after, we're going to do a communal Kiddush and Motzi up here, but we also have, if you want to make your own Kiddush downstairs with the little cups, we also have a washing station with some little challah rolls at the back of the social hall. If you're, the back left corner if you are facing like the direction that I am right now. But by the time you're down there, be disoriented, but still, you'll find it. It's in one of the back corners. All right. I believe that's it. So, but don't go down there until we do the communal one anyway. But before we do that Kiddush, our closing song, Adon Olam, we call upon the members of Kita Zion at Oakland Hebrew Day School to lead us in Adon Olam. So come on up. It's page 269. 269. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Matei mazel tov. Shabbat shalom.
I was even here.
go.